And welcome back once again, guys, to the Pro League. My name is Blue. Joining me here still is Lex, and we are getting ready to jump into our second map now of CLG versus the Immortals. It's going to be heading over to Cobblestone for this one. Maybe a better chance for CLG considering their history, but Lex, what are your thoughts going into this one?
Honestly, I thought if there was a map that they could upset Immortals on, it would be Cobble. That said, I don't know, man. The way that first map kind of panned out, it felt like the entire time, I mean, Days touched on it. Immortals was setting the pace. They were playing the game they wanted to play. And even when CLG actually had the opening picks and actually took the advantage in any rounds, I mean, Immortals was just able to bring it back. Take the first gun round, CLG's on CT side. It's a 5v3. Round crumbles, the round is lost, Henny clutches at 1v2. That was the same story throughout pretty much the entire game. I mean, Immortals, when they would concede the initial advantage, somehow CLG just managed to squander the entire round. And so even though CLG won both pistols, it was a pretty lopsided game in favor of Immortals. I don't think we're going to see anything much different here on Cobble. I'm looking for CLG to kind of, I don't know, step into their own. The last time we casted them, I believe, was like a week ago, and it was on Cobble. I think United was playing like Selfless on this map or something like that. Selfless. Like an elephant, Blue. I remember everything. I'm correct.
I don't know if you're right or not.
I am correct. It's okay.
Okay, confirmation on that.
And as we go into this game, I mean, again, of course, pistol rounds are important. Don't do that caster thing. But it honestly triggers me that I even do it.
All right.
It's just like, I'm always like, why are the casters talking? Like, even a casual player knows how important a pistol round is.
They're not important. I don't know what you're talking
we just
about.
insist, as casters, we
NA, you can just force the second round and win.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So, ooh, bit of team damage there early on as there's some unfortunate placement from the members of the Immortals. Henny ends up crossing in front of his teammate. It's a nice little shot to the head, but they respond to it nicely. Flashbang goes out. There's a really great HE grenade thrown in by the CTs, however, but still Bolt's making progress, pushing in just behind the boost spot. Now we can see again that the Immortals is ripping through CLG. Last one alive is Kusta, who was trying to work a flank, but they're going to see that coming from a mile away. Henny already trying to check for it every couple seconds or so, and he's seen it. No surprise at all for Kusta. I think even Kusta knows he's been seen. Taking the battle there, actually goes out pretty well. Brings Henny down to 7 HP and then finishes off Bolts. So not too shabby as of yet. Although he's now going to have to try and actually get into this site, which is the real issue. However, there's another pickup. Finding Phelps. This actually may be plausible now since he's still got 37 HP. Wrapping out, trying to hunt these guys out, but they're also doing a good job of hiding from him. They're really just wasting a lot of time there. Peeking up, he finishes him off, and now one more to go for Kusta here. He's going to try to clutch it out. Unfortunately, he does have a kit in hand, so Immortals are going to have to try to pressure him. And finally, the timing ends up working out for the Immortals as Zeus peeks just as Kusta was looking the other way. But still, what an attempt at a comeback from Kusta.
Yeah, I mean, he only had one bullet left in that P2000, but an incredible attempt for sure. He had the kit in hand. You wonder whether or not, I mean, I think he had like 8 bullets in reserve or something absurd like that. He had used most of his ammo. But regardless, you're in a situation where you're in a 1v1. You have a little bit of time left over, and you do have that kit in hand. He might have had a little bit of wiggle room to make another play there, but nevertheless, the shot doesn't land. Immortals take the first pistol round of the day. Kusta answers, though. The kill of his own before Lucas cleans that up. And Cbble actually making things a little bit more difficult. The drop area is conceded back towards CLG. Immortals does not take it. So this 3v3 scenario, Immortals just with full on-site control, looking to hold down the retake from CLG.
And we can see there, too, that they are going to try to boost themselves up a little bit here to open up that flanked angle once more if they even go for the retake at this point. May just be trying to save up for it again, but nope, they're going to be pushing out over here onto the platform where we will see Cutler finding a kill, so all of a sudden it's a 2v3 against their favor. Bolts evens it back out, and then he finds the additional kill to equalize things and turns back around to find the final frag as well against Taze. Nicely done by the Immortals. Did lose quite a few players forcing those revives, but they shut down the force buy from CLG and pick up the second round.
Yeah, I mean, once Bolts is in that position towards Chicken Coop, regardless of where Henny posts up in his post plan, I mean, he did get 2 kills there, but the focus is going to be on Bolts. I mean, he's the difficult member of the Immortals team that you need to clear out on that retake, and unfortunately, CLG not able to get it done. 2-0, Immortals with a strong start on T-side. And this, generally speaking, being a rather T-sided map, any kills, I mean, going into the first gun round is going to be huge because your money's already low, you force into the last round. And Hayes found one, catches a dink on a Bolts. He's going to start things off, but unfortunately for the CLG side, they're getting mopped up left and right. Immortals, of course, with the superior firepower, and that's going to do it. 3-0 for Immortals. And as I was saying, I mean, denying the terrorist ability to kind of build a bank is very helpful. But regardless, I mean, with Tech 9s or with Golios, whatever is in your inventory, I'm sure Immortals, you know, has something in their playbook to throw at CLG. So if there's a tough half to be had at either of these maps, this is it. On your CT side of Cbble, when I mean, last time we saw them play, it wasn't exactly the most coordinated or clean CT sides that we've seen. And especially against a team like Immortals, you're going to be looking to have some magic happen. And magic is not going to go the way of Haze, as Henny just kind of walks through the smoke.
Bit of
Sneaks up on him. Yeah.
To be honest.
Kind of the complete opposite of what we're hoping for there.
As Henny just walks right up suicide and gets that kill. None of this too, but Phelps finding a little tiny crack in the smoke. Manages to catch Subrosa, just peeking out a little bit there between the statue and Chicken Coop. Finally, a response from the CLG roster as Kusta does manage to trade out onto Phelps, but ultimately still looking at them holding the advantage. Got the right to really try and mess around with the CLG players, and that's exactly what they did in the last map, especially after they got control. And they're kind of going to be carrying that over into this map too. As you can see, it's up to a 4v2. Cutler finding one up by the ramp, but Henny is able to trade it out pretty quickly. He's not expecting that second player to be hugging the wall already. So things fall to Ethan now as the last man standing, but he's in a 1v3, and he's really completely detached from the A head at the moment, so it's not like he can do anything to stop that plant from going down. It would take some really big heroics for him to be able to clutch this. Yeah,
and unfortunately, Cbble is one of those maps. I mean, there's maps where, you know, if you're in a retake scenario, 1vx situation, you have a propensity to kind of go for it. We see Ethan actually pressing in there, and he will take him down, but unfortunately, when you lose the opening pick like that, especially when you're a solo player at a bomb site, we saw Haze going down to Henny in this danger area right here. As soon as Haze goes down, I mean, this is a situation where you can't really afford to overload a bomb site. So we saw Cutler rotate out, and it pretty much left the CLG side towards that B bomb site undermanned, and Immortals just capitalized. 4-0 now. Phelps opting to pick up a MAC-10. Bolts with a P90 because, well, you know the CTs aren't on armor, so as well.
Just gonna leap
any way you can, and Phelps, yeah,
right down onto his head. And even
just having his way with him.
Clean up some more too, but he actually doesn't check that one little corner there out from the drop room. So Ethan does find a trade very quickly, though it's managed. And for Haze as the last man standing, Deagle in hand, but he's out in the open with no armor. So Bolts is definitely gonna win that battle with the P90.
Yeah, I mean 5-0, not the worst start, especially when you, like I said, it's on Cbble, and you're not expected to necessarily dominate the first half, and if you do, it's a blessing. But CLG now, this is where it kind of, the rubber meets the road. I mean, you got the double op set up on Kust and Cutler, which I don't believe we saw a whole lot of previously from this team. Maybe trying to find some chemistry and some untapped ability, of course, out of Kusta, who previously was a top opper in North America, certainly has not lacked the skill set. The question will be whether or not Immortals will pay the price of the double op toll or capitalize upon it.
Zeus going to get burned down to 36 HP after trying to push his way over there towards drop earlier in the round. So a bit unfortunate that he has to start the round off this way, but nonetheless now we can see Ethan actually countering out the drop push, which follows it up. But Zeus, still with that very low HP, is able to move in, and Cutler's found on top of the shed, and he drops into a Molotov. So unfortunate for Cutler, so he's going to get knocked out, and now all the A defense is gone. They're trying to wrap in, and they're wasting no time with the retake. Coming right outside there. Subrosa even taking a few battles. Just up on top of the balcony, too, as Ethan finds the first kill. He's going to dive back behind cover here, keeps himself alive for now, and he's brought these guys to their knees. Looking at Subrosa finding another one, and all of a sudden it's just Bolts with a P90 looking to clutch 1v2. He's going to try to sneak back over here. He's got the pop flash to go over top of the wall. And he's going to go for the push. It's actually a perfect pop flash. So he moves in, and now should be able to trade to a rifle. He's going to keep it in hand. Tries to clutch it out, but unfortunately, Subrosa is going to win the final battle at that range, and CLG will get themselves onto the board.
Yeah, that was actually a very nice-looking retake coming out from CLG. It looked wonky at first, but I think it was Ethan and Kusta paired up with Subrosa here at the double doors. Just kind of like trading back and forth with their crossfires, peeking at different times, and Immortals are just spinning back and forth, trying to cover both angles at the same time. Definitely catching them in an awkward situation, and Bolts couldn't really help at that range with the P90, so first round for CLG on the board. 5-1. Need to win this next one. Of course, they're low money. Lost the majority of the team in that last round, so CLG pressed for any kind of hope. And yet, if Phelps denies, finds the first frag, and Ethan's stuck over here towards Heaven, but he's going to find one out of Lucas. Phelps grabs another one before he falls. Now it's a 3v3. Doable situation for CLG, but Zeus is going to put this bomb down.
Once more to the Immortals get themselves up onto the site. It's a lot slower, too, from CLG. At this point in the last round, they were already looking to start moving in for the retake, but now they're going to be holding back. This Pop Flash does push the player up on site a little bit further away, but Zeus with the re-peek shuts down one of these guys. I'm not sure if he knows the second player moving in, though, but when he peeks out, he does find that kill, and not only that, too, with bolts. Sneaks it right back out, shuts down Cutler, and it will be the traded round going into Immortals' favor and resetting that losing bonus from CLG.
Yeah, the A bomb site, in contrast to B, of course, on Cbble, a little bit more difficult to retake once the terrorists have already set up their post-plant positions. I mean, once Zeus is secured in the A bomb site, actually towards that default area, and he has teammates supporting, crossfiring from both Woodwall and long A halls, or even mid-slope, entering the bomb site is always so difficult because you never know which angles they're going to be peeking from next, so CLG pays the price there. 6-1, they get reset, looking at a double save situation. Unfortunately, that means Immortals is looking at 7-1, maybe 8-1 if they don't get ecoed now.
Bolts, too, just hunting down the heads here. Back over outside of the mid-connector. A little bit of trouble, of course, taking down Cutler as he actually gets dinked a bit, but still Cutler's going to end up pulling away from that position and wrapping over here towards Suicide, where he gets the angle, but he's not able to actually find the kill against Zeus. Just leaving Hayes as the last man standing on the Seeker round. Not expecting anything amazing from Hayes or anyone else on CLG, and this is probably going to be the worst situation he could have asked for now. Just the USP, it's easily going to be a 7th round for IMT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. This is definitely Immortals in full control, obviously, but I mean, CLG's tries the double op setup, didn't really pay off for him in the following gun round. I think the big question mark is whether or not they can lock down the A side of the map. Hayes has been isolated over there multiple times at this point. I mean, he has that support from Cutler, kind of, but even the last time that we saw them actually in a situation where they were pressured from Immortals, we saw Cutler burn to death on that A-bomb site. Immortals certainly has their inventory at top-notch capacity for all of these rounds because they're rich, but especially when they actually execute into the bomb site. So much pressure just being put on. And CLG has failed to respond thus far.
We can see the Immortals prepping up for another B hit too, not leaving anybody to watch for flanks or anything, but CLG have rotated in. They've got 4 here with a 5th on the way. Unfortunately, they're back down onto an eco, and at the moment, it's the Immortals ripping them to shreds. Sabrosa finding one pickup, but the trade's coming very fast indeed. And there you have it. The round's already over. Immortals stacking up an 8th now.
Yeah, and this is the real test. Going out of pause. I believe we're going into a pause.
It's probably gonna be tactical from CLG at this point, considering, I mean, we didn't see one at all in the last map, which kind of surprised me to a certain degree, considering how heavily they were losing at one point. And now, I mean, finally we're gonna see one here. But unfortunately, it's coming in when we've already gone through a lot of the half, and they have a huge deficit to make up for. But it is going to be on the cusp of a gun round, so at the very least, we'll see immediate application of whatever Garrett and the rest of the team are talking over right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a good time to kind of realize how important this next round is. I mean, obviously, I think there's been like 3 full gun rounds up to this point, and one of them on that nice retake coming out from CLG was the only round win that they've had thus far. So when you're moving into the rest of this half, I mean, you've got essentially 6 rounds with left to work. 5, rather? 6, including this one. Yeah, math. You brought that up at one point, how difficult it is to do math on the fly at a caster's
That does
desk.
throw you off, because it's like, you think
8-1.
You think it'd be 5 because we're already in round 10, but it's like, oh no, the 10th one counts too, so you had to add it.
Regardless, what I'm trying to get at is CLG needs to win this round, Blue.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's already gone completely out of control, and they're basically in the endless cycle of buying and saving again. Their eco rounds aren't doing anything. They don't really seem to have any cheeky strats to employ there to upset, so it's going to come down to the gun rounds. And once more, just like on the last map, for the most part, Immortals have still been winning all of the opening 1v1s, all the important gun duels. That is just giving them the round with ease for the most part, not even needing to do anything advanced, tactically speaking.
When you're looking at kind of like this 8-1 scoreline and you're thinking about what do we do to counter this? And the importance of obviously winning this round is that, you know, like you said, the cycle of buying, losing, rebuying, losing, rebuying again. You only have so many rounds with left to work. So if you're going into the next T half and you only have 4 or 5 rounds on the board, you're in a situation where you need to win the pistol, you need to not get ecoed, and then you must win the following gun round. So for CLG to come out on top in this round would be huge. I don't know what changes off the top of my head that I could really throw towards CLG. I think the biggest issue thus far has been control of the A side of the map. Immortals is only dedicating 1, sometimes 2 players towards it in their default, and yet they're finding the opening kills every time, gaining the side hall control that is so necessary to keep the CLG rotates basically stuck towards that A bomb site. So let's see whether or not they can come up with anything here.
And we'll get directly into it too. CLG initially mollying off the drop area here too, but Immortals just want to brute force their way through it. Phelps even, oh my god! The jumping blind headshot onto Ethan. Bolt's even moving out here too. They don't have support for this site setup at all. A couple trades here and there, but it's already down to just Kusta in a 1v3. Moves in, actually nice lineup against Phelps in the window. Completely denies him of anything else. A lot more to go though, but he's got a lot of utility to get back into this bomb site. Zeus gets it onto the ground. He won't be finding Zeus in a position where he can catch him out on the cross since he plants it on the very, very edge. Now, too, they're just set up entirely to counter out a push from the direction he's moving in from. We've got Nade just rolling out from the broken wall position, too. So Zeus is going to have it tough, despite this utility that he's brought into this one. Not checking into the drop room there, and just like that, because he fails to check it, Bolts gets an easy kill to end the round once more for the Immortals.
Yeah, 9-1 now. CLG still lacking money. Not quite on full money bonuses yet, but well, they should be in the next round, but, you know, maybe they'll go for some pistol armor action, you know? Yeah. Buy down at 2K, see what they're working with.
Correct myself, that kill wasn't actually blind. Split second.
Oh, the one
actually,
drop?
Yeah, found it like probably like a millisecond before he actually got hit by the flashbang.
Just love the slam dunk.
Just get wrecked.
Into drop room. Full confidence.
But anyway, he's going to go right for it again. And it's Annie this time that moves in. Kusta does trade it out from the window position, of course, but now Phelps is winning for the repeat. Won't find it. And look at this. They're just rushing the site. The past like 3 rounds that they've done this, and it's worked every single time.
Do you see what Immortals did, though? They recognized that CLG was having issues toward the A-bomb site, right? And so in the round following the pause, CLG just exactly what I said. They dedicate 2 players back towards A, and now Immortals has totally changed up, given a different look. They've exerted complete dominance on the B site, going for this fast drop play, swinging out on the platform, getting the opening kills, and it's just like, what's the answer, right? It's a gamble at this point. Like, which side are we going to overload? Because clearly we can't hold it with just a standard 3-2 setup.
Another gun round from CLG and another attempt to try and pick up a round against the Immortals here. Now the Immortals changing up the game plan again. Heading over towards the A site this time as CLG go for a 4-man stack on B. But Hayes, look at him though. He's got a great lineup against them. 1, 2, 3 kills. Finally the force plays do fail out there. Ethan also grabbing Zeus closer to the B-bomb site, so it all goes down to Henny. With that, he's alone, trying to clutch this out. But ultimately, this is looking like finally we'll have a round where CLG managed to outclass them. Yeah, finally. I mean, they go back to their standard setup because Immortals have pressured the B bomb site now and they're worried about B. But Hayes actually shows up to the fight, finds 3 kills of his own with a beautiful lineup through that smoke. Ethan answered as well, so now they just need to hunt down Henny, clear this out. They don't want to lose any guns, right? This is a financially fickle situation, and Henny, of course, recognizes that. Still playing aggressive. He won't retreat to his ivory tower just yet. Still holding strong in mid. Probably has an eye to try and clutch this out, but regardless, you just go for it, try and get as many guns down as possible, make CLG buy shotguns, buy CZs, do whatever they can to continue their buy streak, but I don't even know, it doesn't even really necessarily occur to CLG in that situation that they should just play passive on the bomb sites, and so Ethan gives up, or sorry, I believe that was Kusta mid, gave up that kill, so just trying to wait for Henny to push onto a bomb site and see if he can get a bomb plant. Kill him when he's doing that, but 25 seconds remaining, of course. The clock is limited, misses the no-scope, but finds one on a Subrosa, and suddenly this is dangerous for CLG. Again, not because of a round loss necessarily, but Henny doing damage. Difficult as ever to take down one of the better operas here in North America. And 10-2, Immortals conceding a round at last to CLG. Ethan doing a good job there shutting it down, but there we go. Finally, the Immortals is blindly pressuring it. That flashbang ends up messing them a big time. And we can see, too, the big spray from Hayes that puts that round into contention for those players. So now, the Immortals, of course, still with plenty of cash to buy up again. Go right into another full buy. And still with a lot more to go beyond that, too. So I don't think they're going to be having any problems for the rest of this half. Although now, they stop the more aggressive plays and they go right back to the default. And hey, it works, because Cutler, for some reason, blindly peeks the other edge of Suicide there. And he's the only one there. The bomb site is completely empty. There's just no rotates coming in from CLG. Hayes scrambles out of drop and into the connector. He's going to make it back towards Heaven, so he's able to find one out of Lucas. Nice swift movement there from Hayes. Drops a bomb carrier as well. However, his teammates are trickling in. There'll be no flank this round, and Phelps is over at that drop room, already lurked in. He finds one to Subrosa.
Suddenly this is falling apart for CLG. Their round win is currently putting them in a financially crippling situation as they will surely fail in this round. As Ethan falls as well, and Kusa follows suit. 11-2 now, Immortals running away with this one.
Another reset once again, and obviously should expect CLG to probably save up here just for the last round, but again, I'm wrong. Like 0-3 on calling those tonight.
Hey, you know what, man? This is what we were talking about, though, is that you don't really have any rounds to save on.
That's true.
11-2, right? I mean, at this point, the best you can hope for, of course, is 11-4. And if you can get it lucky with a few CZ and 5-7 kills. We know how we all feel about the 5-7 over here at the Lex and Blue casting desk. I hate it.
It's on the Bears' desk too, man. When he shows up here too, he doesn't like it either.
Bears can give me the finger guns because he knows how triggered I get. 5-7.
We'll have 2 of those in play.
Yeah, actually, I'm making myself angry. Blue, please cast this round.
It's all right. One of the non-5-7s has just been knocked out of there. Hayes.
Yes.
Running with a measly little P250 and Cbble. He's going to get pushed out into the open, looking for a shot there, but nothing connecting as of this point. Phelps just pulls back and probably safely tucked behind a wall, though. Here comes the re-peek in a second. He may be able to spot Phelps. Pop flash rounding around. It actually hits on a Phelps way more than it hits Cbble. But really, he's just trying to delay the inevitable here. Counter boost coming from the CTs too, but Lucas is sitting there waiting for it. They mess it up. We did see Color actually finding the kill into Bolton.
Oh
there it is.
Bet you wish that update rolled out earlier, Lucas.
Ethan pops right up there, shuts it down.
That's that famous Forrest clip when he's getting boosted at drop and you just can't see his head and the 5-7 just wipes you off the face of the planet. Oh my gosh, I'm triggered.
So Henny's gonna wrap around the corner, gets the kill on a repeat. Zeus also picking one up too, and Zeus with a drop down. They turned that around really quickly. And with that, the Immortals still manage to swing things together.
Yeah, this is a wash at this point. Immortals in absolute dominant fashion. Oh man. I guess, if you're gonna be, I don't want to call it cheese because the 5-7 is obviously, it's not amazing, right? But you're gonna go sit in the tower. You're gonna wait for some aggression. You're gonna let down your hair, Henny. You're gonna let it all out. Just wait for them to push into you, and of course, CLG paid for it there.
Henny's gonna drop right down too with the up in hand, moving up, shotgun kill, looking for the second one, but he does go down to Cbble. Phelps, though, is still cleaning things up, and okay, apparently Bolts walks into a Molotov that kills him, and Cutler also finds a scout frag, so it was looking clean for the Immortals here, but it's gonna get a bit shaky now as this actually goes down to a 2v2. But Zeus and Lucas are lit to hell and back as well, 19 and 23 HP. Lucas is caught, doesn't actually end up getting knocked out of there. Manages to duck out before the full peak rolls in, but so trying to play it together. They can hear the jumping from Cutler, sitting in the drop room itself, but now waiting for the actual retake to move its way out. Flashbang there, gives them room to push out of it initially, but nicely done. Zeus and Lucas handle that with class, and that is going to give the Immortals their 13th round. Another very easy half for them, and they're going to jump over to the CT side, but we're going to be showing that in just a little bit here, guys. Stick around for the continuation of this set between CLG and the Immortals right here at the ESL Pro League.
He's going to get the one kill in that bomb coming onto the side. And Phoenix has to stay up. Oh, he gets the triple at Phoenix. Oh my god, what a way to win that round. They don't have a smoke, so this orb is still.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Immortals versus CLG at the ESL Pro League. We're in our second match of the evening between these two teams, and Immortals is currently up 13-2, coming off of their T side. So, jumping onto their CT side. Things look great, of course, for them to close out. We'll have to wait and see if it will be as easy as we may predict it will be. But Lex, of course, you're here to talk about that. So what are your thoughts before we do get into this pistol round, which is starting now?
I think this is just Immortals kind of toying with CLG through that entire T-half. I mean, just absolutely manipulating their rotations, making them play exactly how I think everyone kind of can see from that observer's point of view, just kind of pressuring the right sides of the map every single time. The scoreboard shows it, 13-2, Immortals just outclassing CLG at this point.
And again here too, from the side of CLG, they actually are going to mix it up a little. It was a 4-man stack from the Immortals towards B, but the hit doesn't actually roll up here. In fact, it's going to be heading to the exact opposite site, up on A. Phelps tries to dive into a smoke, and right now no one's actually even been able to see him. He pops out, however doesn't manage to pick up any kills. He'll go down to Cutler. The CTs have rotated, but they're not being given a lot of sight control. They try to work for a flight too, but even on that respect, Zeus has been found out. Lucas gets a nice lineup, however, from the cross base, and one player's going to push in, but it leads to his death. Bolts finding 2 pickups, and Lucas with one of his own there, punking back out for a second one, and Bolts just shuts down Sabrosa. Look great for CLG as they completely outmassed Immortals, had them to a 5 versus 1 advantage originally on the site, but they rotate so quickly, and due to the heroics of Lucas and Bolts, they bring that right back under their own control.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. CLG opts to get aggressive in this post-plant scenario, obviously pushing rat hole, the connector doors, just trying to find anything they can. But Bolts on that flank, I mean, coming up the mid-ramp is really the linchpin because everybody on CLG basically halts their aggression, turns their attention back towards mid, and Lucas from behind just kind of cleans house. 14-2 now, Immortals poised to take this one away.
And we can see for CLG here, they are going to proceed once again over here towards the bomb site, and obviously considering the current scoreline, well, they're just going to force right up into this one. And, oh, there you go from Phelps. Boosts himself up after a nice little flash, rolls over, completely blinds Kusta. No one is there to support Kusta, so he gets that kill, although he does get a bit greedy, re-peeking it. That is where we are going to see Cutler find the first kill. Not only this, too, but Ethan, patience plays out for him. Sitting behind that box, catches Zeus, peeking out from the cubby position, and they'll find another kill to bring this into a 5-on-3.
Yeah, and of course, when you're down 14-2, you need rounds like this going in your favor. So the ability to capitalize on not only the man advantage, but certainly the situational advantage. They're poised to take this drop area. The kills need to come their way quickly, as they are mounting up this attack towards the B-bomb site. All 4 members of CLG exiting towards that platform area. Already out on the site, but unknown to CLG is that Bolts is over here in Chicken Coop. And as I say that, Sabrosa clears that out. Nice awareness from him, and Henny just kind of straining it out here on the big flank. But not going to be able to get anything done. He does have a P90, which, you know, to some is worth saving. Certainly he feels that way as well.
That's been their like special gun for the past 2 days now that we've seen them play on this map here at Pro League. They've used that quite a bit in their match yesterday too, versus Optic.
Yeah, I remember. Speaking of the P90, he's sitting over here next to Bolts, a.k.a. The Rock, a.k.a. Dwayne Johnson. And Cutler is standing right next to him, and Henny is just like, should I knife him? Answer, no, I'm just going to get the double kill instead. Nice awareness from Henny, and he might even be able to upgrade his rifle there. Yep, picks up the M4. So all in all, not exactly the most ideal situation for a save, but if you're going to get 2 kills and claim a rifle out of it, consider it a, hey look, hashtag blue stash. Is that trending? Is that trending right now? Should be. Guys, Ryu actually has a tweet over at Selfless Ryu. We need 200 tweets.
No,
sorry,
this
200,
isn't fair.
200. I can do whatever I want. 200 retweets
what we agreed to.
Ryu's tweet to get Blue, I believe, to keep the mustache and hopefully grow it out through ESL New York. So just go ahead and at Selfless Ryu. I'm plugging somebody else's Twitter at this point. I have stooped to new lows. Nevertheless, go retweet it. We want Blue Stash forever. You look good with it, man.
I don't think so.
I think you're wrong.
We need a poll to figure that one out. Anyway.
Immortals have bought into this round, of course. Forced into it, rather. And Zeus opens things up on Akusta. Just a surprise boom headshot over there at the broken wall towards B. And 14-3. I mean, ugh. If you're on the CLG side, you're feeling sick to your stomach, and giving up that opening kill does not make it feel any better. So Luke is getting pressured over here at drop. Sabrosa just inches away from him on the other side of that wall. Pop Flash does come in. Doesn't have a Mag 7 to deal with, but
surrounded.
Yeah, CLG is just trying to poke holes when They are not in a situation to do so, but as I say that, Hayes has walked through the smoke, found Henny, and now it's a 4-on-4. CLG does have drop control at this point, so a lot of different things can go wrong for Immortals, and that's Hayes coming in up the A ramp, finds one on a, I believe that was her Phelps, but Ethan answers, and now it's just Bolts over here.
Oh my God.
Claiming two. I don't even want to talk about it.
The timing on that,
I don't care.
Triggering you, of course. The timing on that is perfect. Full control. Waits for him to push back in, and I believe he hears the second player walking up, so he knows he's going to jump back over to go for the refrag.
Like if you're in that situation with an M4, there's a chance that you don't get both those kills. But if it's a 5-7, I mean, hey, we'll just quick zap 2 headshots and win the round for Immortals. I'm not angry about it at all.
CSGO, everyone. As now Immortals get themselves up to match point. And obviously CLG are going to be forcing it once again. For the majority of them, though, it is just Tech9's. Hayes, the only player that can actually get himself an AK. And once again, too, playing to the default, nothing really creative being done by CLG at this point. They just run the timer down a little bit, and there's no one on platform. So look at Phelps walking right up, rolling out. 1, 2, sees the third, but does decide to fall back a bit, as now he's down at 31 HP. But Henny doing the same thing with the P90 back out here towards mid. 1 kill, unloading that whole magazine, even uses the whole magazine to get that kill on Nakusta. And now it's just Sabroza in a 1v4 with a measly little Tech9 and only 7 HP to his name. He's going to try to push over here towards the top of the drop room. He's hidden away. So again, trying to play a few mind games against the Immortals, but what hope does he have to actually do anything? He knows Lucas is on the cusp, going to try to peek back out, but Lucas will get the jumping kill, and that will close out this match, ladies and gentlemen. The Immortals claim the second one here, and I believe it's going to be 16-3, 16-4 will be our final scoreline for that one. They go 2-0 for the evening, continue to hold their second place position, and CLG, unfortunately, still continue on that mission to reform and will drop ever lower in the ratings.
Yep, just some crisp professional CS coming out there from Immortals. CLG certainly still in the rebuilding phase, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, it was a learning experience, but it dodoesn't feel good. And reviewing the demo isn't going to feel any better.
Definitely not. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to throw things back over to our analysis desk now to talk more about that game, what was going on with CLG, what was going right with the Immortals. So to take us away, do indeed take it, Ryu and Dazed.
He called it a learning experience. What did you learn watching that thrashing of CLG, if anything?
I mean, I learned that I was right, and you should definitely ban Cbble against against the Immortals. Like, I mean, that was pretty ridiculous. They just, like I said on Train, is the same thing. Super fast-paced rounds, just in your face, taking control of everything, everywhere on the map, almost never even losing like a initial gun battle while just holding W. That was like watching something that you would see. You know, sometimes you see these like crazy qualifiers where there's like 256 teams, and you have like an invite team play against like an open team. That's literally what it looked like.
Yeah, we were joking while the casters were doing their thing that the freeze time was almost as long as some of those rounds, like a 15-second, 20-second freeze time versus, I mean, we were pointing out like there's a minute 30 on the clock. It's a 5v1.
Yeah.
They're carrying SMGs down drop. Like, what could CLG have done? I mean, way earlier in that half because we saw their money get broken a couple times. Like, what's the Hail Mary you throw to even have a chance in a match like that?
I mean, right away you want to use a lot of nades so you can at least get set up. You know, at drop room, maybe a pre-molly, then dodge a flash, have support there. At B, constant pre-nades, you know, smoke, nade, etc. Over at A, then maybe play for information, and then if they don't go B and drop early, then you could rotate there because they've just been rushing almost every single round, every spot that they're hitting. That would be a start. But, I mean, even if you played, you know, really tactically sound, I think if they played that map 100 times, you know, I think Immortals probably wins 98 times. You know, that's how overmatched they are.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly felt like it watching. We do have a replay where I think it's a 3v3 situation. It was the 7th round. Talk about how good and what makes Immortals so good in these situations where, you know, it's even 3-on-3 or maybe they're 3v4 and how they play this so clean.
Well, initially, like, Zeus is in sight here, and he could take an off angle and peek every like 5 seconds or so, and he's almost always going to get the kill, right? And then those players in middle are watching if they come out to the right. They're watching, they're making sure he can't push them and things like that. And when it comes down to it, when Immortals is in like a 3v3, they communicate who's going to take the initial fight. They know when you should be peeking every 5 seconds or if you should be hiding, and they really just had that experience down to trust each other to make the right play, which makes the game easier on everybody.
Yeah, and we saw that first half was super fast. We do have a replay of the pistol round, the second half pistol round, where it looked like, okay, CLG is going to put some real good pressure early. They're going to get into the site. They're going to get the plant. And then it goes south. Talk me through what goes wrong for CLG here.
Well, it goes wrong because they're just way too aggressive. They felt like they needed to be very aggressive because if you look at the mini-map, Immortals was pushing up middle with 2 people right away. But what you want to do in that situation is you want to get in spots where you can't get crossfired. You saw they were getting killed from the rat hole, as we call it, right? But if you hold heaven control there and you actually hold the site and make them push you and then play with crossfires there, they almost certainly would have won the round. Instead, they chased the kills instead of letting the kills come towards them. I'm not sure if they had somebody long haul there, but essentially they just had no crossfires coming out and they went towards them, even though they had the site and the plant.
Yeah, we see. I mean, not only did they go push for those kills, they were like in the open, like they were super exposed. And we see here the stat line for Hen1, 22 and 7. I mean, I don't even know if the individual stats really matter. I mean, we saw, and I
saw
think
them up in that tower a couple times.
We saw them in the tower just sitting. We saw them 16K
frags.
across the board and double P90s and just rushing drop with ops.
What really killed them
had a little bit of fun there.
I mean, if you remember, the round that CLG won, they won with 1 guy alive. And then their second round after they bought that, like the following round, they had like a Mag 7, 2 FAMASs, and like an AWP and like a pistol or something like that. And then Immortals just comes and wins the round within like 15 seconds. And then by the time CLG bought up fully again, it was like 8-1 or something, or 9-1, you know? And it's just, that's so demoralizing to have. That is the most demoralizing thing in Counter-Strike, by far. When you win that 1 round with 1 alive, you lose the next round, and you're just like, we all have 1,500. They all have 16K. This sucks. Yeah,
that's that CT side economy reset, double save territory. We are blessed to have back in a Skype interview Zeus from the Victors today. There he is,
man?
Looking sharp.
What's up, man? Good to see you again, Daze.
So we were talking on the desk here, Zeus. How many hours a day do you deathmatch with the Mag 7?
Me? None. Not 0.
Yeah. All right, I had a question. So when you got like right there on Train and Cbble, you played super fast paced, right? Like most rounds ended very, very quickly. You really went to places with 3 or 4 people right away. You got the initial trade kill or just got the kill straight up and won the round from there. How much do you guys rely on that versus like really good European teams, and how much do you have in your bag of tricks to go slow and stuff like that afterwards, to back that up?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I mean, with this game, we were able to control their economy pretty nicely. I mean, the rounds where they'd win, they'd have very few people alive. So we know that if we did something fast, just with 1 or 2 flash, they wouldn't have that many Molotovs or HEs to hold us down. So it was one of the resources that we had that, I mean, it worked pretty well most of the times. We do have a lot more complex strats, but for that, I mean, it's better to use when the team has a lot more stuff, a lot more utility to hold you down until the end of the round. So, I mean, with both these matches, we didn't need to pull that out of our bag of tricks, so pretty good.
So a lot of it was like economy based. You're like, he has a FAMAS half armor and a smoke. Let's just go kill him and worry about everything else later, and everything else is going to fall into place.
Yeah, mostly like that. I mean, especially on Cbble, they really had no economy. On Train, they actually tried a little bit more to have an economy, but the one round where they kept an op, it was easy to predict where they'd pick up or something like that. So it was a little bit different, but most of all, it was the economy on this match.
How much of that was the game plan going in, knowing that you guys declare favorites for this match? You guys have been playing really well. CLG's been a little bit struggling in this rebuilding phase that they're in. How much of it was, hey guys, we know these things, let's take advantage of it, let's bring the fight to them and make this a quick 2-0?
I mean, we always have a great game plan going into things, but we have to adapt depending on the game. If we lose pistol, if we win the force, or it changes a lot. So we maybe have like 3 different game plans, and 1 for the pistol win, 1 for the force win, and 1 losing everything. And we try to adapt to that. My players mostly leave that up to me, for me to have fun with the way I like to mix up the strats. And I mean, that's how it goes for us. We try not to overthink it too much, because if we try to put too much into a game plan or something like that, we might anti-strat ourselves out of winning.
Okay, so our last question before you go. when I watch you guys, I notice when you're in 3v3 scenarios, 2v2, 4v4, you guys play really, really good CS. You really play together. Is there anything that you guys talk about specifically in order to achieve that? Or is there anything that you notice that CLG doesn't do that you might do in those situations?
I mean, I don't know exactly how I could. My opinion could be on CLG because I haven't seen them. I'll say for us, it's all about communication in these areas. I mean, it depends on whose life. It's like, no, don't worry, I know where one is. Let me get the first initial peek, and once I do, that guy will be turned around. Then you go. We try to communicate as much as possible and as briefly as possible too. Already have a concise plan. So, all right, I'm gonna do it in 1, 2, 3, and now let's do. And that's what basically goes for us.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
problem.
Well, thanks, Zeus. Congratulations on another clean night at Counter-Strike. You guys are looking strong.
you.
Really looking forward to seeing you guys play your brothers on SK. I don't know if you guys will go as fast. I do expect you to get a lot of Mag 7 kills, though.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the
Nice
rest of your
talking
night.
to you. You too.
Yeah, we talked very briefly about how when a lot of the upcoming talent, those contact setups, right? When I take contact, you peek. It's just not second nature. It's something they struggle to do. And it's interesting that he referenced that exact kind of setup.
Yeah, and the thing that I took from it is a lot of Counter-Strike, when it comes down to 3v3s, 4v4s, is almost about taking turns. It's about one guy being locked down and he can't do anything, and instead of forcing anything, he waits for his teammates to make the initiative and make a decision and alleviate the pressure off that person. So that's the thing that I mainly took for it. And the best team in the world at that is Old Fnatic. With Dennis, Flesha, Olafmeister, they were by far the best team in the world at 4v4 and whatnot.
We saw the impact, right? They were the best team in the world for quite a long time. Appreciate the feedback there. It's always good to get those interviews in. And if you guys haven't already, even though I mentioned it before, I'm going to mention it again. You should take out your Apple phone or your Google phone. I say those terms because we know people get mad. And getting emotional response gets results. It's a true story in sales. So take out your Apple phone or your Google phone and go to the iOS store or Google Play Store. Download the Score Esports app. It is the #1 place for news and stats. And don't go anywhere because when we get back, we're going to take a look at Renegades against E United for their first map of the night.